Welcome again to my channel, Random Realm. Here we have a film that even today should be watched with caution due to the graphic content. This film is intended for educational purposes only. Created in 1961 by the Highway Safety Foundation and Safety Enterprises, Mechanized Death is a legendary driver's education scare film that underscores the dangers of speeding and reckless driving. Made in an era when automobiles lacked the kind of modern safety features and crash-resistant designs that we take for granted today, and featuring accident footage supplied by the Ohio Highway Patrol, Mechanized Death reveals the highways and byways as nightmarish avenues of carnage and destruction. The film remains absolutely relevant today, with its cautionary tales about risk-taking, speeding, and death. Some of the safety innovations that occurred in the early 1950s included putting padding wherever the driver's head might hit a hard surface, safety glass, and, by mid-decade, seat belts started becoming popular as options, although their advocates had to put up with withering criticism about their effectiveness from inside and outside the industry. Even as late as 1958, a leading research group announced that the seatbelt can be dangerous to the average user under most crash conditions, and that the safety issue was a tool of commercialism used at the expense of human life and injuries. Well, believe it or not, that was the general feeling back then. Anyway, enough of me talking. Let's dive in and take a look for ourselves.
Take time to think. We shall say them again. They are very important. But there is one word we have not said that is most important of all. That word is you. You must take time to think. It may save your own life. It can save the lives of others. You are responsible for all of your actions and reactions whenever you're driving.
Our story starts with a logical beginning, the building of the finest roads and highways that eminent engineers have ever devised. When the contractors perform their work, they're executing the plans of highly skilled specialists. But when you come into the picture, too often that word execution has a totally different meaning. Here is the story of just one car in that grouping. A family was taking a trip on a holiday weekend when suddenly two total strangers decided their destiny. One stranger was a very competent driver who pushed his truck over this stretch countless times in the past. It was foggy that morning and he was behind time. The other stranger was Death. He visited both vehicles. The first victim was the driver who had violated a basic principle, driving too fast for conditions. The other victims were the parents. No, this is not a dream, not a nightmare. This is real, and it's true. Their parents are with them no longer. The children were the sole survivors of this mechanized death.
Mechanized death never takes a holiday. When you take time to think, when you choose to live a little longer, you may also help another live his life to the full.
The minds of men work in many wondrous ways. They devise many beautiful products for pleasure, for travel, for use, and abuse. Ohio State Highway Patrolman put the story together after the tragedy. Speed was an uncontrollable mania with this driver. He had been traveling over 100 miles an hour when he lost control of his hot little red convertible. Desperately, he had jammed on the brakes, skidded 111 feet across the center strip into oncoming traffic eastbound. Banking off the south berm, he shot back 75 feet into his own lane and into the north ditch. Then, back across the other lane, he continued to skid once again for another 94 feet, where he hit a huge boulder. The rock took over the driver's seat for the last 34 feet, where the wreckage came to rest against a telephone pole. His remains were interred with the blessings of his church.
Speed alone need not spell tragedy. It's what comes with it that kills.
On expressways, you get all kinds of drivers. This boy thought he was pretty sharp. It seems, however, he had too flippant an attitude. At top speed, he had passed, he thought, another car, but he cut back into the proper lane a little too soon, clipping the car he was passing. He lost control. With his car in a rampage, he left the expressway, taking with him a huge exit sign posted along the thoroughfare. It was quite appropriate, as it turned out. It was his exit also. The engine left the car intact at the time of impact. How? No one will ever know. Mute evidence to the fact that speed can produce bizarre effects.
Death is forever. Take time to think.
Still, even if that were not enough, here's another grim example of overconfidence. The sordid details have to be recorded on film for the Highway Patrol's comprehensive report. Here are the results of speed due to familiarity of the area. In a 35-mile-an-hour zone on a two-lane highway, a young man with his date had been driving way too fast for conditions. Sure, he knew the area real well, but not that well. He simply missed a curve. He went off the road, and the car rolled over several times. The gruesome details are now laid out for review. The girl was critically injured, but remains alive. The boy never had a chance to be remorseful about her, or himself, or the one curve he had forgotten about. There's an old popular saying, familiarity breeds contempt. Can this be applied here?
Speed is a relative matter. It's what comes with it that kills.
Many recent developments introduced by Ohio's Highway Patrol extend safety for others in their traffic control. Hovering helicopters can now pinpoint any single traffic violator, match his speed, and measure his speed up or slow down. Painted lines, each quarter of a mile with the vehicle's speed checked by stopwatch, leave small possibility for differences of opinion or variations in speedometers. There just isn't any doubt. No one can argue with the constant relationship of time and distance.
Have a white top, black bottom Cadillac, 90 miles per hour.
Air-to-ground communications pass the information instantly to others charged with the responsibility of the greatest good or the greatest number. Tough, Buster, you had it. And all voiced communications on this matter can be monitored and tape recorded, precisely the same as were your own words making your own excuses. This boy was in the pink, high as a kite, happy as a lark. He said it was social drinking, just a couple of beers with the boys. Later, he proved it to be otherwise by his own admission.
The sound of anyone's name is always music to his ears, except when it's called out in court and you know you are wrong.
The docket this morning is the case of State of Ohio versus John F. Samuels. Mr. Samuels, you're charged with operating a motor vehicle while under the influence of intoxicating liquor. This offense is contrary to 4511.19 of the Ohio Revised Code. How do you plead to the charge?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Officer Martin, what is the report in this case, please?
This is my case, Your Honor. This arrest was a result of an accident that occurred on Highway 13 just south of Mansfield, approximately 2 a.m. Saturday. Mr. Samuels was driving north on 13, passed a truck over the yellow line, and struck another northbound vehicle in the rear. Mr. Samuels had a strong odor of alcohol in his breath, and after giving him coordination tests at the scene, he was then taken to the patrol post where he was given an intoximeter test. Color change took 19 seconds. This indicates intoxication. Mr. Samuels was then placed under arrest for driving while under the influence of alcohol.
Mr. Samuels, this is a most serious traffic offense. The laws of Ohio provide that you may be fined up to $500 and sentenced to 6 months in jail. It is the sentence of this court that you be fined $500 and that you be sentenced to 30 days in jail. I'm going to suspend $250 of the fine and 27 of the days in jail and put you on probation for 1 year. In any time during that 1 year, if you violate the rules of the probation, the sentence and the suspended fine will be put into effect immediately. I am also suspending your license for 1 year. Now, do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Bailiff, call the next case.
The history in this case is a combination of criminal irresponsibility and innocent death, if death's visitations can ever be called innocent. In broad daylight, a woman was on her way to visit friends. She'd been driving legally. But the other driver had swerved out to speed past another car making a left turn. The head-on collision killed the innocent driver instantly. The negligent one had been convicted of drunken driving before and causing another accident. For that, his license had been revoked. He had no excuse. He never will have one for a family left motherless through no fault of her own.
Speed is a relative matter. It's what comes with it that kills. How will your relatives feel about it if you speed and kill? How will you feel? Take time to think.
Here's a fatality that need never have been. A relatively slight accident. That life might well have been saved by a safety belt. Damage to the car is mute evidence of the fact that she might have lived had she remained within it.
a mere web of fabric, could have preserved the fiber of life. The means has been available for a good many years.
Go back in your mind to the fine things that men make and the transport that is vital to putting these structures into place. Occasionally, the equipment that is used for constructive purposes is put into situations of a destructive nature. A gravel truck with a worn tire was the cause of all this destruction. 5 people dead, 2 hanging on to life by the most fragile of threads. The driver of the gravel truck, hospitalized, is in deep coma most of the time. His occasional moments of semi-consciousness are filled with agonizing screams.
I can't hold it. My tire blew. I can't hold it.
All in the station wagon are dead. The driver of the other car says he saw the left front tire blow out as the truck crossed the center line before he hit head-on. No chance to get out of the way, are his comments. There just wasn't time.
There had been time to examine that tire. There had been time to change it. There had been time to think. No cost for equipment can ever equal the worth of one life.
There comes the time when the hum of the wheels, the rush of the breeze, and the countryside unrolling itself endlessly develops fatigue, slows down reactions, induces drowsiness. It was summertime. It was foggy. It was 3:45 in the morning. Time, space, and speed become one to the tired mind. The tragic effect of the tired mind has been proven yet one more time with what were once 2 over-the-road haulers. One was loaded with furniture. The other had carried electrical goods. The night, the drive, the hum of the wheels had combined to develop the tired mind, less than total alertness for the following truck driver. He saw the lead truck too late. The lead driver was not even scratched. The driver following was seriously injured. His buddy in the sleeper cab never knew what happened.
Fatigue can be fatal. Mechanized death.
Another time, another place, another set of conditions. Speed was again the first part of this terrible tragedy, coupled with whatever it was that came later to combine to kill. After the bodies were removed, a bottle wedged between the door and the frame caught the officer's eye. He thought it might be an infant's bottle. He looked for the owner. She was a baby, 5.5 months old. The officer was heartbroken. His thoughts flew to his own home and his own 3 little ones. With deep emotion, he devoutly prayed that their fate would not be this.
Take time to think. Eternal life is not now.
Take time to think. Take time to rest and refresh. One good rule of the road, known to be safe, sure, and sound for long-distance driving, is to take 10 out of 2. Particularly pertinent on turnpikes, toll roads, freeways, express routes, 10 minutes for rest and relaxation out of each 2 hours of long-distance driving. It avoids fatigue. It's living insurance. There's always the time, there's always the place, even if it's merely under a tree by the side of the road.
Take 10 out of 2. Take time to think.
You know, when some men spend their lives thinking and planning and building good things for others, when still other people execute those plans for known traffic loads, known speeds, planned that way, all within the known variables, it must be, and it is, worthwhile and deeply satisfying. But when others abuse those facilities, change the meaning of the word execute to death and destruction, heartache and hurt, must cause good men to lose faith in their fellow beings. This story is not complete 3 months after it happened. An Ohio family elected to move from Cleveland to California. They were pulling a second car on a trailer hitch at 55 miles an hour. The tow bar broke. One chain to the following car pulled at a corner, and the car being towed caused the lead car to go out of control. The mother of the family, who was driving, lost control, and both cars and the family rolled over several times on the median strip. The people were thrown out of the moving vehicles. The son's body was found by the side of the road. He was 14. The family will miss him in their new life, whenever and wherever they are able to resume it. This is not a pretty picture. It's not supposed to be. It has only one purpose: to cause you to take time to think. And the big word is you.
Death is forever. Take time to think.
There were 6 men in this car. Some of them thought they could mix alcohol and gasoline. One of them knew better. His forethought and his remembrance helped the highway patrolman to reconstruct the story. Here it is, very simply. They had been drinking. Because one of the passengers took time to think of himself, he took command of the engine and turned off the switch. The driver, offended, invited him out of the car, an invitation the passenger was happy to accept. Because of that caution, the facts are irrefutable. Those remaining in the vehicle took off at high speed, hit a concrete bridge railing 1.5 feet thick, sliced through it, and traveled a further 4 feet to be stopped by a tree. There were 2 other survivors, one of the 5 remaining passengers and the driver. The driver is now charged with 3 counts of manslaughter, 1 for each of his former close friends. The other friend, the former passenger, will testify against him.
In the words of the National Safety Council, if you drink, don't drive. If you drive, don't drink.
You have been watching the work of the Ohio State Highway Patrol. The pictures have not been pleasant. And yet they have portrayed the doleful duty of these dedicated officers, men who devote their lives to helping you stay alive. You've not met these men personally, You have not learned how they feel about this mechanized death. This is that opportunity. Patrol car number 230, piloted by Patrolman J.C. Whiting. Patrolman Whiting, will you grant us a moment for one very serious question?
If I can be of help, I'm glad to.
This senseless slaughter that you dedicated gentlemen have to face all too frequently, what does it do to you? How do you feel about it?
Well, if you could ride with us for 1 week, or maybe even just 1 day, I know that you would feel much the same as I do. Here in the state of Ohio, despite what you have just seen, we have a pretty good record. We average 1 Signal 30 call, death on the highway, every 6 hours. But across the nation, the average is 1 every 14 minutes. There is no need for it. It's senseless. It's mechanized death. You cause it. We try and prevent it. The only person that can do anything about it are you, the drivers. And you as a driver have 2 obligations: to drive so that you protect your own life. When you do that, you will be protecting and safeguarding the lives of other users of the highway. Every mile, every second, every minute of every hour. There is never any need for mechanized death.
There are no words to express agony. There are only sounds, agonized sounds, remorse, regrets, pleas for another chance. So think before you act, for your family, for all others on our highways, indeed for yourself. Take time to think. There is never any need for mechanized death.
Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more interesting videos just like this one.